بسم الله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وبعد. Yesterday I mentioned that we will today speak about companionship in Islam, and we discussed in the last few sessions the idea that the Prophet ﷺ is instructed not to sit with people that are of a certain profession or people of a certain wealth or a people of a certain social status, but instead he's told to sit with who? يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَدَاةِ وَالْعَشِيِّ, to sit with those that call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the morning and in the evening. And for us as Muslims, it is difficult to sit with the righteous people, like I mentioned before, because it forces us to dress a certain way, to speak a certain way, to carry ourselves in a certain way. All of these things, they allow us to transform ourselves. And we don't do it because of the people, but we do it because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He wants us to be better, and we use the righteous people as a means to do that. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the ayah, He tells us, يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَدَاةِ وَالْعَشِيِّ يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَهُ وَلَا تَعْدُ عَيْنَاكَ عَنْهُمْ تُرِيدُ زِينَةَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَلَا تُطِعْ مَنْ أَغْفَلْنَا قَلْبَهُ عَنْ ذِكْرِنَا وَاتَّبَعَ هَوَاهُ وَكَانَ أَمْرُهُ فُرُطًا. That after He tells Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam to be with those righteous people, He also tells him that let not your eyes overlook them, meaning the righteous people, desiring the glitter and the glam of this world, and obey not him whose heart we have made heedless of our remembrance, and who follows his own lusts, and whose affairs have been lost. Meaning he sallallahu alaihi wasallam is being taught who are your friends and who aren't your friends, who are your companions and who aren't your companions. And as we know from the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't enter people as individuals into Jannah, but in fact He will enter people on the Day of Judgment in groups. And we know this from Surah Az-Zumar, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَسِيقَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا إِلَى جَهَنَّمَ زُمَرًا وَسِيقَ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا رَبَّهُمْ إِلَى الْجَنَّةِ زُمَرًا. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take the people of righteousness into heaven. Those that feared Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will walk them into heaven. And those that disbelieved and turned away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will be made to walk into the fire, zumara, in groups. And so we understand that companionship is a means to heaven or a means to hell. If good companionship, then there will be a good ending. If bad companionship, there will be a bad ending. And even in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَمَا أَضَلَّنَا إِلَّا الْمُجْرِمُونَ فَمَا لَنَا مِنْ شَافِعِينَ وَلَا صَدِيقٍ حَمِيمٍ. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says that the mujrimun, that the criminals are the ones that misguided them, or misguided us, the people are talking. And the people will say, فَمَا لَنَا مِنْ شَافِعِينَ, we don't have anyone to intercede on our behalf with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَا صَدِيقٍ حَمِيمٍ, and not even one good close friend. When somebody looks at this ayah, you see فَمَا لَنَا مِنْ شَافِعِينَ. The word shafi'in is in plural, and sadiq is in the singular form. Why is this? Because intercessors, people that can speak on your behalf, may be plenty. If you're in trouble, you can call somebody. Somebody will come and take care of you. But Sadiq Hamim, a true friend, someone that is close to you, is very rare. Someone who loves you and takes care of you, and you care about his affairs, and he cares about your affairs. He cares about your akhirah. That's a rare friend. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَلَا صَدِيقٍ حَمِيمٍ, not even one good friend. And the second reason the scholars say that why it's made singular is because one good friend can do the job of a group of intercessors while only being one. So we're not talking about just any regular friend here. Not the person that you chat with and you joke with, but the one who takes you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there are some harsh words that the scholars say. The scholars used to say that any gathering, any companionship which doesn't make you more knowledgeable in good matters of the deen or the dunya, or brings you closer to Allah or benefits you in the next life, it is better to sit with the dogs. This is what the scholars say. Because that person is not going to benefit you. Ibn Ata'illah al-Iskandari, he said, تصحب من لا ينحدك لا تصحب من لا ينحدك حالك ولا يدلك على الله مقاله. That don't accompany people that don't raise your status with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that don't make you stronger and give you greater aspirations to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nor do their words take you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what we have to understand as Muslims, that who is our real friend. الْأَخِلَّاءُ يَوْمَئِذٍ بَعْضُهُمْ لِبَعْضٍ عَدُوٌّ إِلَّا الْمُتَّقِينَ. That on that day, friends and companionships and groups, they will be to one another an enemy, إِلَّا الْمُتَّقِينَ, except one group of people, and those are the righteous people, those people that fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-Hasan al-Basri used to say, استكثروا من الأخلاء الأتقياء يوم القيامة فإن لهم شفاعات. That get a lot of friends. A lot of what type of friends? Atqiya, righteous friends. For indeed on the day of judgment they will come and intercede on your behalf. As for the friend who you laugh with and you joke with and you might backbite with and you might brag about yourself with, or you might trick or cheat or lie in joking or sit on a meal and eat haram food, that friend, you shouldn't sit with him. It's better to sit with the dogs. This type of friend is better to leave off. قال مالك ibn Dinar and many of the Salaf, they used to say, إن حمل الأحجار مع الأبرار خير من أكل الخبيث مع الفجار. That the holding of stones, carrying and transporting stones with the righteous and the pious people is better than eating this sweet, which is known as khabith, with the sad fi akhirihi, is known as a sweet that you might eat with the sinners. Meaning, no matter what standard you get of life with the bad people, no matter how great it is better to carry stones and labor than to be with them. This is what is being said. That expensive dessert today, it might be great and nice today, but it will cost you a lot more in the day of judgment, and you won't benefit as much. And so for us as Muslims, the idea that I want to speak about for the next few days is who are our friends, who aren't our friends, who should we sit with. And the reason why this topic is relevant is because every single person in here, every single person sacrificing their time to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is writing their name down. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is writing their name down. These are the people that you should be with, the ones that spend their time doing the ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from the muttaqeen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those that intercede on each other's behalf on the day of judgment. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us in good companionship and away from bad companionship. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.